suggest it began in Scotland as early as the 16th century, while others say it was founded in England in the early 18th century. To this day, there are over 1 million members, from the likes of Jesse Jackson and Bob Dole, from John Wayne to Winston Churchill. Brad Meltzer, author of the Book of Fate, reveals more about these members.
From Voltaire to George Washington to Winston Churchill, the Freemasons have spent centuries collecting the most powerful members of society. In the United States, they grew that power to new heights. They had everyone from Benjamin Franklin to Benedict Arnold, John Wayne to Mark Twain, Bob Dole to Jesse Jackson, even Harry Houdini. 8 signers of the Declaration of Independence were Freemasons. 9 signers of the U.S. Constitution. They had 5 Chief Justices of the Supreme Court.
From here on out, you may sit back and wonder, how can you recognize a Freemason? They can be recognized most commonly by the society symbol. It can be seen everywhere, from rings to car license plates. The symbol is made up of a steel square and compass. The square is a tool that carpenters and other tradesmen use. As you can see here, it has 2 equal flat-edged metal or wooden arms that are joined at a perfect right angle. It enables tradesmen to create perfect 90-degree angles. But in masonry, this signifies their ability to test the rightness of their actions. It stands for their golden rule to deal with someone fairly and honestly. The second part is the compass. This is a device used to draw perfect circles or arcs. To Masons, it symbolizes their intention to draw boundaries on their own desires and passion. And the third and last part, the letter G, standing for geometry, God, and generative principle. But how does one become a member of such a secret group? You must follow one of their sayings: to be one, ask one.
It used to be that fathers and grandfathers would invite their sons and their grandsons to join the Freemasons, and now it's very different. I'm going to give you a phrase, and now that I've told you this phrase, I want you to look for it on cars. You'll see it on bumper stickers everywhere. To be one, ask one. That is how you become a Freemason today. To be one, you have to ask one. So that is also how the Freemasons have shrunk over time. It used to be that people would wait around for their fathers and grandfathers to ask them. Nowadays, what you'll see is we had a whole generation of people who were waiting and waiting for their fathers and grandfathers to ask them to come in, and they didn't realize that the rules had changed. To be one, you had to ask one.
Across this country and across the world, men of all backgrounds and jobs are members. Your neighbor, brother, father, or son could all be a part of it. But perhaps in the United States, the place that has the deepest and greatest history of the Freemasons is Washington, D.C. After all, our first president, George Washington, was a Freemason, and after him, a dozen more Freemasons will become presidents as well. But George Washington's membership to this day has had a lasting impact on the mystery of the Freemasons. And this, perhaps, is the source for the greatest myth of all.
When the city of Washington, D.C. was first built, the Freemasons actually put their brand into the city streets. They started with the pentagram, one of the most famous religious symbols in history. It dates back to the Mayans, to the Egyptians, and to the Chinese. And it started 200 years ago when George Washington, a known Freemason and one of the 3 people who was responsible for designing the city grid of Washington, actually put this 5-pointed star into the city streets. Now look at these points. It starts with Logan Circle and DuPont Circle. When you follow the map, it forms the star. The crazy part is the top point of the pentagram is the White House. If you go a little bit to the east, you'll see the square and compass, the most famous symbol in Freemasonry, is actually also built into the city grid. And the top point of this symbol is the U.S. Capitol building. 200 years ago, the Freemasons marked the city of Washington, D.C. To this day, nobody knows why. The only way you can see the pentagram, the only way you see the square and compass built into the city grid, is if you're looking from an aerial view. And that means the Freemasons anticipated air travel by 100 years. Another interesting fact is the cornerstone of the White House itself was laid in a Freemason ceremony, but it didn't stop there. It was also the U.S. Capitol building. The Freemasons also did it with the Washington Monument, with the Library of Congress, with the National Cathedral, with the Smithsonian. All of these marked in Freemason ceremonies.
So you've seen the way it maps out. And considering that George Washington was one of only 3 men to grid out Washington, D.C., it almost seems possible, doesn't it? Or is it just all beyond belief?